Hi, I'm Haya Lerner, and this is my second attempt to discuss gratitude. As we know, in a couple of days, it will be Thanksgiving. And aside from the usual historical significance of Thanksgiving, one of the major thing is gratitude. Social psychologists, positive psychologists have determined that we can improve the quality of our lives and increase life satisfaction by 25%. That's pretty significant. So I think in terms of increasing our life satisfaction by using gratitude is like turning the light on in a dark room. We can stay sad or resentful or guilty, and that just brings us more misery. But if we were to take a minute every day and count the blessings that we have in our lives, what happens is that our brains start to change, our minds start to change. We focus on the positive things in our lives rather than the negative. So as we sit down to our wonderful turkey dinners or whatever you fix for Thanksgiving, let's be grateful for what we have. Now, positive psychologists have determined there's a couple of things that we could do. First is to write down 5 things that we're grateful for every day. So we can think of things like that we are alive, that we have family, that we have a job, that we have a roof over our heads. But after a while, if we do this exercise every day, that gets kind of dull and doesn't really do anything for us. But what would happen if we took a look at what our lives are about and say, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I have a partner. I'm grateful for my children. I'm grateful for my pet. I'm grateful that I have a house and a roof and a bed, comfortable bed and food. We often, when we get to the point where we don't appreciate those things, when they do happen, when we lose those things, then we start to appreciate them. I'm reminded a number of years ago during Hurricane Katrina, I am from New Orleans, and as the storm hit and the levee broke, I didn't quite appreciate my hometown until I saw the devastation. And so sometimes it takes tragedy for us to appreciate what we do have. How do we improve our relationships? By saying to the person we love, this is why I love you. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you picked up the kids this morning. You took them to school. I'm grateful you made their lunches. I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that you have a job. I'm grateful that there's just thinking, how do you and why do you love them? What did they do specifically? And when you do that, then they start to feel appreciated and they start to respond to you in the same way. Another thing is if you're not happy with your job, what can you do to enumerate what is it that you like about your job? So it could be that the coffee is great, or it could be that your boss is the jerk you thought he or she was. Maybe they are kind and considerate and compassionate. Maybe you have some really awesome coworkers. And what did they do specifically that makes them awesome coworkers? So that's how we can improve our lives, is through identifying at least 5 things that we can be grateful for every day. Another technique is something called a gratitude letter. So you take someone you may have an issue with, let's say mother, father, grandparent, partner, and you write a letter to them expressing your gratitude for all the things that they've done. And you actually write a letter, a piece of paper, not email, because this is a tangible thing that you can have in your hand that allows them to see that you really do care about them. Now, ideally, you would go visit them and hand them the letter, and they would see how much you appreciate them. And the last thing I want to say is that as a Jewish practice is to wake up, open your eyes every morning and say, thank you. Thank you for giving me one more day of life. We're not guaranteed in this world that we're going to survive. Too often people take that for granted. I've heard that it says we watch our clocks, the clock as we're on their way to the gallows. We have to appreciate every single moment that we have because we never know when it might end. So as we sit around the Thanksgiving table, let us appreciate the people around us, our family and our friends, and appreciate the country that we live in, and have a happy Thanksgiving.